What?
Let's meet below.
Who can't count to 3? It is literally the next.
Toxin screen down. Goodbye.
Spike down, attacker spawn.
3 down.
1 enemy remaining.
4 down.
There.
My ace! No! Oh, F. No! My ace!
Prisoner.
Hello? Hello?
Oh, holy fuck.
Still want me to tie you?
Back the fuck up. When did this become a whorehouse?
Right?
Hey, Mike. This guy's talking in his sleep.
I have questions.
For a doctor. Must be a nightmare about a previous injury. Soldiers with PTSD get them all the time. He must have been through some shit. Poor bastard.
I thought I saw a pony cat.
What the fuck? He's harder than whiskey.
I'm scared. That's a Nova. Woo! Quick, 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 quick. I'm a little bitch baby. Oh, okay. Me do caveman. No worries. Me caveman. Do goo. Caveman do goo. It's okay. Can do goo. Me confused. Why this so? Help. Why so high up? Me scared of heights. Me very scared of heights. Ooh, shaking camera, no goo. Shaky camera, no goo. Do not shake camera, heard. Must catch pretty lady before fall. Whee! Just a couple of dudes doing dudes, exactly. Did you mean that? Did you mean that like that? Hold on. I got questions. I'm glad that you're getting all of your money's worth on your dick spurs today, Bat Kyle. Happy Christmas, I suppose. Happy Dixper Christmas? Happy Dixmas? No, hold on. Don't clip the Dixmas. Don't. I regret saying Happy Dixmas. I do. I regret saying Happy Dixmas. You got room for this shield kit? Because I'm carrying some big slurp juices and a spray kit.
Yeah, can you ping it? Hey, bitch! I'm down. She's on me. Oh, I can just see her finisher. Oh! That was cool.
Where did she go? Hold on.
Do no harm.
Where did she go? It killed.
She's not on my body?
No.
She's right there.
I was shooting at her while she was finishing you, and she's not here anymore. Where did she go? Hello? But where?
Oh, he went flying.
Goodbye. No. Goodbye. Oh, goodbye.
I got a sidetrack there.
Shout out to the fact that
Oh,
you just
snap.
ripped that straight from my hand.
That would have been perfect. I was trying to block.
You fucker. See how mean he is to me? He's a meanie. You're a meanie, sir.
She knows.
I hope that somebody out there watches my videos at... What happened to you? I just said don't die. Literally 30 seconds ago, we had a heart-to-heart that you weren't gonna die. Anyway, I really wanna be a place where people feel like they've got, you know, a good place to call home. Right, Bumper? Oh no.
Sam comes to terms with his death and gives up.
I don't want to give up.
No, you can't.
Not both of us having the same idea.
This is a mistake, I know. Aramis listens to one voice only, and it is not ours.
I may draw power from the voice in the darkness. But I am in a
Oh god, she spawned inside me. I'm going to move now.
People.
I'm a banana, I'm a banana, I'm a banana, I'm a banana. Yeah. Peanut butter jelly time, peanut butter jelly time, now wait. One bitch, two bitch, red bitch, dead bitch.
None of my bitches are dead.
It's me, I'm the dead bitch.
Right
You just triggered my fight or flight response. Unfortunately for you, I am a flightless bird.
Help! Open the door, you bastards!
If it isn't nailed down, it's coming with me. If it isn't nailed down, it's coming with me. If it isn't nailed down, I'ma shove it in my pockets. If it isn't nailed down, it's coming with me. I know what Wonderwall is! I'm a good emo! I know what Wonderwall— Hello. Good evening, afternoon, good times on everybody. Welcome on in. Happy Sunday. Hopefully you're all having a great Sunday so far. We are going to do something different today. We're going to learn how to use Mix It Up and OBS and things like that. Instead of our normal Clay Obscure stream, because I had a bunch of people asking me how to use it and what to do with it and how to do things with it. So we're going to do that today. I'm going to teach you guys some cool stuff about a cool program. If you're unfamiliar with what Mix It Up is, it is— oh, hold on. I promised I'd record this for YouTube. Hello? Alright, we're good. Alright, if you're unfamiliar with what Mix It Up is, it is a fantastic streamer bot that helps you do a lot of different things. So we're gonna go over how to do things like what just happened there when Della entered chat. Or how to get chat to show up on screen, or how to do follower alerts and things like that. We're gonna cover a lot of different topics today. So hopefully you guys get some good knowledge out of the deal and get learning things that you want to know how to do. Let me ping in the Discord real fast. If this doesn't crash my computer. Here for the tutorial. I know you're not, buddy. That's okay. Such a fucking ugly kid. I would like one tutorial, please. You got it, Jenny. A crumb of learn, if you will. Yeah, we'll get started here in a second. I'm just pinging in the in a couple different Discords I told that I would ping that I'm doing this now. Alright, there we go. I have pinned everywhere that I told I was going to that I am live. Alright, let's get into it. Okay, so first and foremost, oops, I should change scenes. First and foremost, this in and of itself is Mix It Up. It's it looks a little like this. I'm gonna try and put it somewhere where you guys can see it. There we go. I'll lean back a little bit to get out of the way. But this is Mix It Up. It's at its base a chatbot. You, it's us. I know it's you guys. Stare into your own eyes, chat. I use it for a bunch of different stuff, but mostly we're gonna be going over how to do overlay alerts, and other things like that. I'll also be answering any of your questions along the way. So if you have any, please feel free to chime in with them as you have them. Don't feel like you have to wait for me to get to the section or the section that you want to know about, just pop it in the chat. So to get an overlay out of Mix It Up, you're going to go into your settings menu, you go to overlays, and there should be one default one if you want to just have one for everything that comes through. You'll just hit the copy link button. If mine it doesn't crash, you hit the copy link button and then you'll plug that into OBS as a browser source. I wouldn't mess with the port or anything like that. You shouldn't need to. Everything should work just fine the way that it comes. And then that will be what allows you to do all of the fun stuff everywhere else. This is the hamburger menu I'll refer to a lot. It's got all your different settings and areas that you can do different Mix It Up things with. Actually, hold on. I'm going to take you guys back to this screen real quick. I need to connect my Kofi real quick. I don't want you guys seeing my login. Okay. I should have done this before stream. I know I'm underprepared. I'm sorry. I was unprepared for today, unfortunately. Okay, I need... API. There we go. Now I can delete this. Cool. There we go. Alright. So what I just did there was I went to services. There's a bunch of different services you can connect your Mix It Up to. Like crowd control, Discord. We'll talk about the Discord one. Dodo Drive, Fourth Wall, Just Giving, Ko-Fi, Meld, OBS, Pally if you use Pally to pay your mods. Oops. Right to the right screen here. I have a bunch of different ones connected here. I recommend that if you use anything, you look and see if you can connect your specific account to it. There's VTube Studio and VTS Pog for VTubers. There's Voice Mod, Treat Stream, all that good kind of goodies. So you can do pretty much anything with Mix It Up that other programs can connect to using web-based API. All right. Nope, that's not what I wanted. The first thing first to do follower alerts and things like that, you're going to go to events. Now they have specific events for each of the streaming platforms, or you can just do one generic one for all of them. I recommend having individual ones per streaming platform so people feel a little more unique. And welcome to Few Multi-Stream, although I don't recommend multi-streaming, but that's just me. Yeah, if you go to, like, let's just say we're going to go to Twitch, right? And we'll make a follower alert. You'll hit the add command button, and then here's where things get really versatile and pretty much just as you want them to be. What you'll do is you'll go to actions, and then you'll go to overlay images and videos, because that's what most people want to use. And this will be where you can put your images, like your GIFs, your emotes, your little things from, you know, Imgur, whatever you want to use. You'll just put it here under images and then define how long you want it to be on screen for. And then you can also do chat messages if you want to. And that's the basis of how to do all alerts, honestly. You do that for every alert that you want to have an alert for. You can have it update subathon timers and things like that if you wanted to. It's very one size fits all. One size fits all. You can do a lot of different things with it. Sorry, this is one of my favorite songs. But yeah, it's really nice to be able to do whatever you want with it. You can use videos, for example, or GIFs. Mine, I believe, is just a 7-second little emote. Yeah, mine's just a little emote that pops up. Like that. And it bounces back out using the parameters I gave it inside the event. Shit. Yeah, that's how to make alerts and things like that. If you want to do a specific one for whether or not people sub with your Prime sub or a regular sub, you use a conditional, which are just if-then statements. Hydrate, you got it, DJ. This is my water bottle. I need to fill it up later. But this is my water bottle. I drink for you now. There, DJ. I hydrated for you, buddy. So you'll just put in a conditional in saying user sub plan name equals Prime, and then do whatever you want it to do for your Prime sub. And then on the other end, you'll do user's sub plan does not contain Prime. And then you'll do what you want it to do for the regular sub alert. What does this even do anymore? I don't even know what that does anymore. Let's set this to true and see what happens. Okay, so I can't. There we go. Cool. So that's that. Why does that have the message about the subathon on? That shouldn't. Hold on. Turn this back on. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. Turn that off. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. I was adjusting something on the fly. Like I said, Mix It Up is very good about being very versatile. All right, there we go. That's that. That's just a very simple, easy little quick way to do overlay alerts and things like that. And you can do that for pretty much anything and everything. Like raids and power up message effects and bits. And like you can have something show up if an ad's about to start. I don't have anything pop up on stream when an ad's about to start, but I do have a chat message that plays because they do have the ability to do things on upcoming ad start and ad end. So if you want to have a little GIF or something pop up to remind you that ads are coming up, you can do that. All right. Any questions so far? Have I covered pretty much everything pretty thoroughly? I know I've been talking a little fast, so if anybody has any questions, please let me know. Oh, hold on, my OBS might be crashing. OBS, no, please don't crash. There we go. We are done crashing, right, buddy? Okay. So that's how you do like Twitch alerts and things like that. You can do it for YouTube as well. Like I said, I recommend having separate alerts for each of your places you multi-stream to, just because people like to feel special. I don't stream to this website because I don't like it, so we don't talk about that one. You can also have it set to do different things. So if you get a chat message, I need to set up my Ko-fi tips. Actually, we're gonna do this together. Let's do a Discord send message. Important stream events. So that's how I get my Discord messages sent through. And then we'll do a little bit of an overlay pop up here. Do a image. On the default, we'll set it to 7 seconds. Is it on the content drive? I don't think it's on the content drive, actually. Oops. All right. I'll do streamer. Is it on the content drive? It might be on the content drive, actually. Yeah, I think it's on the content drive. Let's go out. What are emotes? There it is. 420 by 420. Oh, direction must have it. There we go. I forgot. Donation amount number. That's what I want. Donation amount number. There we go. And then, ta-da! It shows up just like that. And it went to Discord as well, to my mod chat. Yep. Went to my mod chat and everything worked out perfectly. I just need to adjust the text because the text didn't show up right. Make this Where are you popping up at there, buddy? You should be showing up right there in the upper right. Or upper left. Okay. Q32, I guess. There it is. Okay. There we go. So that's how you set up an alert from scratch. We'll talk about how to get into Discord in a little bit. But that's how you set up an alert from scratch. I can set up a thermal alert too. Nice. I'll do that later. Let's talk about how to get your Discord connected, actually, so we can talk about some other fun stuff. So coming here to your services, you go to Discord, there'll be a big login button right here. You just hit the login button and give it your Discord permissions. There's a more complicated way of doing it where it gets into getting a custom bot made up, but that's something that I'll cover on YouTube specifically because that's a little bit more of a process than just attaching your Discord account to it. So there's that. And then, so the one thing that I like to use, and I like to use my note command, as you guys know, to have you guys send me notes and things like that for reminders. Which is thank you to Auntie Tan for teaching me how to do this. She's a life send. But essentially, you're just gonna do a Discord action, send message to whatever channel you want. I recommend having a specific channel set for your specific like messages and things like that. That way you don't forget, you don't lose it in like your regular mod chat or things like that. And then you just do left a note, username left a note, and then all args is how you get the entirety of the message from the user inside your Discord message. That's just saying everything in the text that they entered is what I want to use. And then you can send a chat message to remind people, thank you for doing that if you want. Just so people feel like they feel, they can feel, you know, thanked and helpful, you know? We like when people feel helpful. One other thing that I know people like to use are death counters. So to do that, we're actually going to start by going into the new command area, and we're going to make a new command, but I'm just going to edit the one that I have, but you can go into the edit commands and you can just call it death or death plus or death, whatever you want to call it. Come on. Step one is you're going to make a counter using your actions. Counter create update. And you're going to set it to whatever you want to call it. I have mine set to death. Thanks for the streak, Strike. I appreciate it. Yay, streak. We love streaks in this house. 95 stream streak is crazy, by the way, Strike. And then you'll do action update. Because you don't want to reset it. You don't want to set it. You want to update it +1. And then you can have it on your streaming software, update the death counter scene that you have. Should you have like an overlay or something that has a death counter on it. And then have it send a chat message with how many times you've died. And then have it play a sound. I have mine play the womp womp effect because I think womp womp is really funny when you die. That's setting it up, and then to set the death, so in case you like accidentally over-click the button or, you know, too many people put it in at the same time, you just do counter create an update and then set and then arg1 text. So essentially what the command is going to be is !death set space and then the number you want it to be in the chat message. So then arg1 text is going to be the first word, the first number after the command is fired. And so that's how you set up like death counters or any other stream counter like that you want to have going on. I know most people just use it for death counters. And then should you want to save your death counter because you want to, you know, come back into a different game and have a different death counter, you can do file read write, save to file, and then set it to somewhere special. Stream game will save the name of the game that you're playing. And then you want to set an available games list, so that it saves the name of the game to a list of pool of games that it can pull from later. And then the conditional here is if it doesn't contain the stream game in your available games text file, it's going to make a new line with the new text file appended to it. Any questions so far? Or are we kind of just cruising along? Like I said, I know I talk really fast. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to stop me and ask. I'm gonna go fill up my water bottle real fast. I will be right back because I'm getting thirsty again. All right, there we go. I have hydration again, chat. Sorry about that. I was dying of thirst. Much better. Whew. So that's how to make death counters and things like that. Go over daily check-in. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to come to currency, rank, and nope, not channel points. Currency, rank, and inventory, and add a currency or rank. Call this one daily. I don't use a daily check-in. On its own, I have you guys get check-ins based off your coins. If you want to have a separate one for just check-ins, you can disable the online rate so that people don't gain more daily check-ins while they're online in chat. And just name it daily. And then you'll make the daily check-in point on Twitch. And then come over to the Twitch channel points. And then add a command to existing reward. And then you're going to come over here and select the name of the channel point you just made for your daily check-in. And then you're going to make a consumable currency rank check-in and do consumable daily check-in action add to user amount 1. I do 10 because you guys get specific coins for checking in, but if you want to just do like a one day check-in every time, then you just put 1 there. And then you can do, hey, username, guess what? You've claimed your daily music coin. Thank you. You have now user, and then the name of the daily you called it. So if you just called it daily, to be user daily check-ins or whatever you want to call it. Like I said, I use 1 coin system for everything, check-ins and all, but if you want to have a separate check-in system, then your gambling system, that's how you do that, is by having 1 called dailies and 1 called like coins or whatever you want them to be able to gamble with. There's that. You really do anything you want with the channel points as well. I have a bunch to do a bunch of really cool stuff, as you guys know. What else did I have in my note to go over? Hold please. Okay. One of the ones I get asked about a lot is how I do the one where it change. Oh, I'm not even on the right scene. My bad, guys. You guys didn't even see me go over how to do that. So to do a daily check-in, you're gonna create the daily check-in by going to currency, rank, and inventory, adding a currency or rank, and then just titling it daily or whatever you want to call it, saving it. Set it to disabled under online rate so they don't gain any while they're sitting in your chat, because you don't want them to. You just want them to get it by the check-in every day. And then come to your Twitch channel points, add command to existing reward, or make a new channel point reward. I will warn you, if you make a new channel point reward, Twitch automatically sets it to 1 channel point with 0 cooldown. So if you want to have a cooldown, like you only want 1 person redeeming it per day for your first, or like if you only want 1 person redeeming it every day for themselves, you have to go in and change that setting in Twitch's end. But you can add it to a existing command if you already made the command. And then all you're going to do is you're going to go in and you're going to do a consumable, currency, rank, etc. Select your daily check-in consumable, add to user, and then 1. And then you can have a chat message, let them know how many times they've checked in by using user and then the name of your daily check-in. There we go. Now that I've shown you guys how to do it properly and you guys actually saw me do it and not just me sitting there staring at you guys weirdly. Any questions so far? I haven't checked chat in a minute. Any questions? No. Okay, cool. Perfect. It means we're chugging along at just the right pace. Turn those back off before I... Cool. Trying to think of what else I should show you guys. Didn't really plan this out very well. I'm going to be so for real. Genuinely Mix It Up is just a very good program to like explore and learn how to do other things with. There's so much you can do with it. And the recording. There we go. We might play some games. I'm not gonna lie. This lecture took went through a lot faster than I thought it was going to. So we might play some games. What do we want to play? What do we think, chat? What are we thinking? We want to play some games. Oop, everything's crashing. Hold on. Oh no. Please stop crashing. I just wanted to look at something. Did you move to the trash folder? I want to make sure that that works right. I haven't used that feature in a while. Everything is crashing. I don't know what's going on with my computer today. I'm going to restart the gaming. It's lagging. Great. Yeah. We're going to restart the PC. Alrighty. It did. Cool. So you can also do like little mini games in chat using currency. Again, you'll make a new currency. I would make that one your primary currency. Did I make this my primary currency? I did. Cool. And then come down to games, and you can pick from a wide variety of games, honestly. We've got a bunch of really cool ones in here. Bunch of really cool ones in here for them for chat to play around with. Thank you, chat modbot. Cool. Restart the other computer real fast. Yeah, unless there are any questions, I think that's it for the Mix It Up section. There wasn't really much that I had particularly set out to show you guys because a lot of it's very like point and clicky and you got to figure out what you want. But I'm always around if you have any questions or things like that that you want answered about Mix It Up. But yeah, I can show you around some OBS stuff if you guys would like, or we can get into some gaming. It is up to you guys. We do next. I'm waiting for the gaming computer to reset though, so hold on. One shot drops tomorrow. I'm so excited. I'm so tired of being tired. I'll get logged back in over there. Cool. Whoops, didn't mean to open DaVinci. Okay. There we go. Sorry about that. I had to cough up a lung real fast. All right, let's get some games in. You guys feeling? You guys wanna do some community gaming today? We haven't done a community game in a while. Do some Valorant. Paying for some Valorant. I wish all my shit wasn't lagging really badly though.
Let's play some community games, shall we? Push to talk. There we go. I need a witty stream title too. What are we gonna call it? There we go. Hi, Cloud. How are you, buddy? There we go. I got everything. I heard Valorant. I'm okay with playing Halo. Come play Valorant. Come play Valorant. Oh, not that. This. That? Okay. Cool. I pinged in the Discord. I don't know who else is going to show up. We'll find out. Cool. Push to talk still works. For some reason, it didn't look like it was working for a minute there. But yeah, hello, everybody. Thank you for coming and hanging out during that lecture. I appreciate y'all for supporting. If you'd like to come play some Valorant with us, we are playing in the Discord. We're playing some Swift plays. You want to play some roulettes? Okay, cool. We're at Valorant volume. My Valorant ever opens, that is. Hey, Duchess. Hi, baby. What's up, girl? It's girl time. It's girl time. No, no attack, Duchess. No. He's being soft. Sweet girl. Nice, sweet girl. Okay, you can get down. Good girl. Good baby. Good baby. I'm just waiting on Valorant to open, Cloud. Eventually it'll open. My game is crashing, I think. What girl? It's gonna be about 5 minutes, by the way, chat. You're so pretty. You're so pretty. She's being real cute, guys. One day my game will load. Oh, string froze. Using faster encoding preset. I'm using the fastest I can use. What do you mean? Yeah, I'm at the highest encoding settings I can be on. Hello? Okay. Locked my PC and I had to hard close. Yeah, Valorant did that to me too. I'm just resetting my PC right now. Okay. Come on, Valorant. Open up this time. Alright. Little ma'am. You got fur all over my desk, what you did. Fur everywhere on my desk now. I'm in Discord, by the way, Cloud. When your PC comes back from the crash. Aw, I'm sorry, man. That blows. That sucks, dude. I'm sorry. There we go. Oh, this is on that still. Boop. There we go.
Match found.
How did slow mode get turned on? Oh, it's not. Okay, cool.
Death is not an option.
No? Okay. Thanks for watching the dads, by the way, chat. Welcome back. Sweet girl. Hopefully I don't load in late to my game again like I was doing yesterday. Portis, thank you so much for the resub, buddy. I appreciate it. $32 months. That's crazy work. A little over 3 years, right? Math, 12, 24, 30. A little under 3 years. Just under 3 years. Yeah, I'm good at math.
The destroyer.
Destroyer of worlds. There we go. I got your sound to work, Mortis.
Barrier deployed.
Going for another? I do.
Spike down A. Throwing net.
Whoops. Oh, Jet. You got this one? Alright, sounds good, buddy.
Last player standing. Seconds left.
Don't set. Adding shield.
Spike planted.
Let's see if Arbor can clutch this.
Adding shield.
One enemy remaining.
Got 3.
Fair winds, tight corners. Time to show off, Jet.
Alright, let's see here.
Sound sensor up. Listen. Blocking movement.
Nice.
Spike down B.
No escape.
Spike planted.
Damn, 108 right now.
Last player standing.
Their death demands our attention.
Damn. Next agent while I'm sitting here.
Blocking movement.
Damn. Damn.
Don't place. Adding shield.
Last player standing.
My ult isn't ready.
Spike planted.
Damn.
Last round before the switch.
Excellent try. Save nothing.
Sound sensor up. Listening. Blocking movement.
The hunt begins.
Cool.
I've got your trail.
I know exactly where. Rounding sight.
No escape. I'm out of here.
I can smell you.
Oh no. His game is not going well.
Spike planted.
I'm watching that, buddy.
I'm out of here.
Oh my god. Close up and close. Terrifying.
Oh, good lord.
Last player standing. One enemy remaining.
It could go either way.
Damn. Sucks to be that Sky who ulted in the open.
Clutch.
Or dogged in the open.
Switching sides.
Harbor, where the hell did you train? Sound sensor up. Sound sensor up.
It's okay, we're an attack team.
No charges.
I don't want to tell myself anyway.
Whatever helps you sleep, buddy. I mean, y'all aren't ending on a goose egg, so.
Go, go, go.
True. Well,
Spike down B.
I have the spikes.
Last player standing.
Alvida. Don't place. Adding shield.
yep.
It's a valiant effort by that Harbor, though. He was knocking him out.
Match point.
Make them regret their choice of profession.
He's the only one on my team that's actually been doing anything, to be honest.
Listening.
Had some of those this morning.
No escape.
Deploying drone.
Watch out. I'm out of here. Barrier deployed. deployed. Spike planted.
Cool. And now we just hide.
Hello.
I know exactly where you
Don't set.
are.
Adding shield. Hello.
Damn.
Fall back.
I stand. Charge and shoot. Easy enough.
Not the yellow card.
Yurt.
Listening. Sound sensor up. Listening. I will not die today.
Okay. We save those for later.
I'm out of here. Ultimate ready. Reloading. Pull them to their grave. Nothing there.
It didn't bounce. It didn't bounce like it said it was going to. No.
Reloading, Coco. Lock and move.
Last player standing. Spike down A. Defenders win.
Alrighty. We go again.
Let's do it to it.
Match found.
Really mix? Okay.
Let's make some noise.
How are you liking ISO so far?
It's good. I'm still figuring out how to use his like wall thing he does that like moves forward with you. Getting the timing on that. And then I realize you can get more of the shield if you shoot the little bubbles.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I like
He's
them.
just aim labs.
Mm-hmm.
Search for the good in all things. If there is none to be found, then act decisively, violently.
Why is that man saying 0-0?
I think it's supposed to be a face, Mortis.
Oh.
Smoke's up.
Okay. Yeah, they're running out of air right now.
It's resonating.
I have the bomb.
Okay.
Down A. Last player standing.
Rip. Oh, Reyna.
Focus on their stage. Few resurrections.
Hello.
I'm concussing. All right.
Destabilizing.
Spike down A.
Oh, hello. Oh.
No, 104. Damn.
There. Spike planted. Last player standing.
Reyna.
Not your mom.
Watch my tech, everyone. If I throw it left and you go right, I can't heal you. Or hurt you, for that matter.
He's locking in. Don't you worry, he's locking in.
Their omen will fall.
You and I are the only ones with kills right now, so.
That's a concuss!
Destabilizing.
I do not think they're here.
My ult's ready.
Spikes here.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Wow.
Oh, he.
Meet the peak. Blinding.
Not to have a nice day.
One enemy remaining. Last player standing. Thirty seconds left. Ten seconds left. Last round in the half.
Don't be cheap. Spend it all before it's gone.
I don't know what's going on in all chat right now.
That's a concuss!
Oh dear God in heaven.
Crazy day. I think you had the rest of them.
Yeah, there were a lot.
planted. Last player standing.
Oh.
Flawless.
Unfortunate.
Switching sides.
They think they're better than us. I can tell.
La Bamba.
Reloading.
Valorant have an age limit?
No, but they should.
I agree. Twitches is 13 for a good reason.
I wish it were higher.
Me too. I've actually banned a lot of kids in Blue's chat lately. It's kind of crazy.
Moving up. Smoke's resonating.
Destabilizing. Reloading.
Oh, my CT smoke is ass.
No charges. That's a concuss.
They're all flank.
That's... Oh, Reyna is coming from mid.
One enemy remaining. Last player standing.
26, no.
Instinct only goes so far. Skill
Good
covers.
boy is crazy.
Okay.
Ow.
Spike down. C.
70 Reyna, but she
Last player standing.
Oh,
this is going really good.
really, really good.
Match point.
Their lives are so meaningless. Might as well give them to me.
Hello. I have your back.
The hunt begins. Smoke's resonating.
Raises in my smoke on stairs.
Oh! I took a rocket launcher to the dick.
Oh no.
One enemy remaining.
Resource.
Use your ears, Aura.
There.
Please go up and shoot him in the back.
Enemy spotted A.
Once more into battle. I'm not tired. Are you?
What is happening right now?
I don't even know. Ooh, needler gun.
Yes, sir.
Time go.
Howie.
Spike down A.
Encore. I have this basket kill.
Howie.
Did you get res baited?
No, I got res and then nobody was watching flank.
Last player standing. Defenders win.
That was a weird group of people.
Sure was.
But I guess that's kind of Valorant for you.
That do be Valorant.
Match found.
Just take a seat. I got this.
Uh-oh, not the double clove. The triple clove. I think this is gonna be my last match for like 10 minutes. I gotta feed the cat and end stream, and I'll be back.
Yeah, sounds good. Dick on a brick.
I mean... stick on a brick.
Different strokes for different folks.
You still remember the code of our employer, right?
I remember that it always ended in death.
I like Cinderella, personally.
And Thumbsy.
Flash!
Hey there, Mortis.
No one over here.
Okay. How's there be?
Nat 20.
Still in sight.
One enemy remaining.
He's main, hit 26. Nice, good job.
Their tactics are unique. Uniquely not working for
Don't wall it right away. I'm gonna try and outlaw for a bit. Okay, they're there.
Oh, and that's walled up. Oh, that's weird.
Dropping smokes. On my mark. For you.
29 to both Deadlock and Hicks.
Wow, I suck. Holy shit, I suck.
You want to outlaw again?
No, I don't actually.
Sure, buddy? It went well.
Yeah. No, it didn't. Don't you lie to me. Rena's it for 80. She's overhealing.
Spike
down. CT.
Attacker spawn.
I have the bomb back here.
She's so much on the rope, Mortis. On the rope, Mortis.
Shit. Reina's 74, but she's overhealing. I've walled y'all.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, well, I was trying to stop them from coming back this way. I forgot about the zip lines. She goes to...
Yeah, she goes to B for sure.
Oh,
nah, she has a bomb.
Oh.
30 seconds left.
Don't worry.
Nice.
I got the striker.
Nice.
Last round before the switch.
User credits. They're doing the same.
Dutch is being so cute, you guys. She's just laying on my feet.
The hunt begins.
They be B.
On my way.
Some of them. I can't help all of them. I walled them, so I don't know if they're gonna divert.
Come on, let's go.
Oh, you're zapping tunnel.
Watch your eyes. Riff Walker's
You got the op down.
One enemy remaining. Spike down.
You hit 80 in the tunnel down below you.
Don't get back up, sweetheart.
Switching sides.
Breathe. Then commit.
No. That's for Mortis.
go.
Watch your eyes.
Flashed myself.
Careful now.
Spike down B.
Unfortunate that you both had to reload.
Going up.
Last player standing.
Whip.
Nice try.
Spike down B.
Whip.
Burn bright.
I got mine.
Here.
Over there.
It's beginning.
Bruh.
Show me a target.
Shadows.
Enemy spotted B.
Shadows traveling.
Go ahead, Mortis. I just want B. Come on.
Oh shit, Reyna's back there.
Spike down B.
Oh god. She has a Vandal.
Yeah, I think she took mine.
Last player standing.
This is so unfortunate. Oop.
This is crazy. It feels like we've been doing this forever. Anyone else feel like that? Just me? Okay.
We run it down A.
Oh shit, my wife's at the front door. Hold on.
You're good.
I'll let her in.
Carriers down.
Spike down. Attacker spawned.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Last player
Whoops.
standing.
It's all good.
Match point.
I didn't bring a snack. Did anyone bring a snack?
Yo, Doc, keep us topped up.
The hunt begins.
What the fuck was that? Why?
Flash!
Damn, 120 deadlock heaven.
My ultimate is ready. Cover going out.
You say you might have to jump to get me.
You can do that too.
Last player standing.
Oh my god.
Well, I tried.
We did our best. Alright, like I said, I'm gonna take a quick break. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I think I'm actually go pop in some DVD with Blue.
Sounds good. Tell her I said hi.
Alright, bye.
Alrighty, chat. We're gonna get on out of here. Thank you all for hanging out today and for showing up for the seminar and things like that. I love you guys. Stay cool, stay calm, stay frosty. Know that the world is better with you in it. Let's find somebody to raid. Shall we? Do I have anybody on that I want to raid? Let's find out. No, I don't have anybody. Our games? Games are good. Games are good. I think we're going to skip out on raid today, guys, and just head out of here. I will see you all tomorrow for more co-working on the duck game. I love you guys. Stay cool, stay calm, stay frosty. The world is better with you in it, and I appreciate y'all for being here. Bye-bye.